Here are the latest Manchester United transfer updates. Now, as usual, I've put in timestamps in the description box below for each player, so you don't have to watch the whole video. You can just jump into the section that you're most interested in. All right, let's get going. Okay, let's start with Frenkie De Jong. The Dutch midfield orchestrator is even closer to Manchester United than he was 10 days ago. I've always maintained on this channel that with Frenkie De Jong, it was a matter of when, not if. And I think that when is going to be around June the 30th, because yesterday, Manchester United and Barcelona have already agreed on a guaranteed fee of £56 million, far less than I had initially anticipated, with the rest being in bonuses such as can he win 3 Ballon d'Ors while juggling the ball and playing Stairway to Heaven on the guitar. So yeah, I mean, his transfer is a formality. Personal terms are also not an issue. I think that they've been agreed a few weeks ago between Manchester United and his agent. So yes, Frenkie De Jong will be a Manchester United player very soon. He's gonna join us as soon as his break after being involved with the Dutch national team is over. The next player is, of course, Feyenoord Dutch left-back Tyrell Malacia, who Manchester United agreed a fee of £13 million with Feyenoord for his signature. This has been confirmed by the sporting director of Feyenoord, so it's definitely a formality. Now, what is really interesting about this transfer is that 10 days ago, Manchester United fans were complaining about how John Murtho was negotiating and haggling with Barcelona for a fee for Frenkie De Jong. But today, what we have is literally for the price that we were going to pay 10 days ago, Barcelona, which was about £65 million, for that same fee right now, we have a Frenkie De Jong and a Tyrell Malacia rather than just one Frenkie De Jong. So again, John Murtho, well done. Okay. But also what is interesting about Tyrell Malacia is that anybody who follows and stays updated on transfer news knows that for a month now, everybody thought he was going to Olympique Lyon in France. But his agency is the same one as Erik ten Hag's agency, Frenkie de Jong, Lindelof, and Donny van de Beek. So I think that there were a lot of channels that Manchester United had to keep his agents updated on what Manchester United's intentions were. And I think that he has made up his mind. He's definitely going to join Manchester United since a fee now with Feyenoord has been agreed. The questions that it raises, though, is that now we have a lot of left backs. We do have Luke Shaw and Alex Telles, as well as Alvaro Fernandez and potentially Brendan Williams as well. So I expect Manchester United to let quite a few left back leaves. I expect Alex Telles and probably Brendan Williams to leave permanently, with Alvaro Fernandez probably leaving on a loan. So yeah, exciting time for Manchester United. Tyrell Malacia will definitely be a Manchester United player pretty soon. Next is Argentine defender Lisandro Martinez, who plays for Ajax and who played under Erik ten Hag, who is being linked to Manchester United and Arsenal. But nothing concrete has happened yet, either from the Londoners or from Manchester United, but both clubs are really keen on Lisandro Martinez. Now, a fee of around £35 million should be enough, and it seems that Manchester United are also readying an offer for Lisandro Martinez. I think that for Manchester United, players like Julian Timber, Pau Torres, and Lisandro Martinez were always top of the list. And it seems that Erik ten Hag probably decided to go for Lisandro Martinez instead of Pau Torres, for example. Now, I'm not too worried about Arsenal's interest in him, because the only way they would get him is if we don't make a bid for Lisandro Martinez. So if Erik ten Hag decides, I want Lisandro Martinez at Manchester United, he's definitely going to come, because as far as financial terms, we have the edge. We are a much bigger club. We have a much better team. And we have Erik ten Hag, who, of course, worked with Lisandro Martinez at Ajax. So yeah, as far as centre-backs are concerned, if Erik ten Hag decides to go for Lisandro Martinez, that's definitely a player that we could see in a Manchester United shirt next year. Next is Danish playmaker Christian Eriksen. Now, Manchester United have already offered him a contract about a week ago. Brentford also did, and Christian Eriksen is apparently thinking about which offer to accept. But I don't think that that's the whole story. I think that because his contract at Brentford hasn't expired yet, it expires at the end of this month, out of respect to the London-based club, he doesn't want to actually come out and say that he's accepted Manchester United's offer just yet. I think that when it comes to Brentford, it's more of a choice of the heart, if you may, because they kind of gave him his chance when most of the football world kind of gave up on him. But what a lot of people ignore is that Erik ten Hag actually gave him that chance before, because Erik ten Hag opened up the Ajax first team for Eriksen to come and train with them, which helped him prove his fitness to clubs like Brentford. And so I think that coming into Manchester United is a no-brainer for Christian Eriksen. However, if he chose Brentford, is something that I would understand. You know, it would show that an element of loyalty still remains in football at the top level to this day, which is always good to see. But playing for Manchester United, I think that it's a no-brainer. I think that he will pick Manchester United. He's just 30 years old. When you look at how players like Scholes and Modric, who are similar to Eriksen in many ways, have extended their careers until they were 36, 37, Christian Eriksen could do the same thing. And so he's not, in my opinion, he's not old enough to just give up on competing for titles and just compete for Premier League safety with Brentford, because they could have gotten relegated had they not signed him in the second half of the season. So I think that Eriksen is going to think through that, and he's probably going to tell Brentford, well, thank you guys for all you did, but now for me it's time to go to Manchester United. It's an offer that cannot be refused. So again, Christian Eriksen, a player that I 99% expect at Manchester United, with 1% being whether he makes a choice out of emotions, and if he does that, then I'll still respect him for that choice. But he's going to play for Manchester United. Next is Dutch right back who plays for Inter Milan, Denzel Dumfries, a player who Manchester United were interested in for a very long time, for years. In fact, right before we signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Dumfries was actually considered the favorite among many sources and many reports. But Manchester United went for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But now apparently Manchester United are ready to rectify that mistake by going for the Dutch right back. And Inter Milan, as big a club as they are still a selling club, as they've shown it by selling the likes of Lukaku and the likes of Achraf Hakimi. Now they're ready to sell Bastoni and Milan Skriniar as well. So Denzel Dumfries leaving Inter Milan is a possibility. In fact, a fee of £26 million is mooted as being enough to tempt Inter Milan to sell. Just as they sold Achraf Hakimi and replaced him with Dumfries, they can sell Dumfries and replace him with someone else. And he would work really well at Manchester United. But I don't see whether Dumfries currently is a priority ahead of centre-back, midfield and a right winger. But it still seems to be a transfer that is likely going to happen for Manchester United this summer. And what a transfer he would be. This would probably mean that him and Dalot will be our two options at right back, which means that Ethan Laird will have to move to another club, probably on loan. I think that he still is young and he can still show what he can do. Probably to Bournemouth, since he played for them last season and now they are in the Premier League. That could be an interesting move for him. But yes, Manchester United could have Diogo Dalot and Denzel Dumfries as their options at right back next season. And last but not least is, of course, right winger Antony from Ajax. Now, this transfer makes so much sense that it's difficult to see how it would not materialize for Manchester United. He's a right winger with the left foot. We need that kind of player. They are essential to the way Erik ten Hag plays. Plus, when Erik ten Hag left Ajax, in the video that Antony made as a tribute to his manager, he said, "Boss, if you need me, I'm always going to be there for you." That's clearly a wink, as in, please come and get me. I would love to go to Manchester United with you. And from Ajax perspective, now, if you pay attention to transfer gossip, there are reports saying that Ajax wants 70 or 80 million. This is exactly what Barcelona did with Frenkie De Jong, and yet it didn't stop us from getting him at a very good deal for us, Anchor pricing, okay? By saying that they want 70 million pounds for Antony, they would be happy with 50 million pounds. Now, there is another thing that I would like to debunk, which is that Ajax not needing to sell because they've already raised funds by selling the likes of Gravenberch and Sebastian Haller. Now, yes, this makes sense. They've already sold a lot of players. If they sell Lisandro Martinez, for example, they would have raised over 80 million pounds from sales. That means that they don't need to sell anymore. But there is an element of risk, because a lot of these players, the likes of Antony, for example, their value is inflated because of how well they performed under Erik ten Hag within his system. Now they have a new manager who probably is going to find it challenging, because if you relativize Ajax situation to Manchester United's situation when Sir Alex Ferguson retires, it's pretty much the same. The new manager has to fill some really big shoes, okay? So there is an element of risk. What if next season doesn't go well for Ajax? Then players like Antony will not be worth as much. They will be worth around 30 million, especially if Ajax doesn't make it to the Champions League, which would be a disaster for them financially. So for them, it makes much more sense to sell those assets right now, bring in replacements, and then start anew with the new manager, rather than actually keep these players who could actually be unhappy because they are excited and looking forward to their big moves, and then have the whole team flop next season and then have their values decrease. So I think that from Ajax perspective, they're still open to sell. They are just going to be be a little harder to deal with. But again, I still think that I expect a fee of around 50-55 million pounds to be enough for Antony. But Erik ten Hag wants him. He definitely wants a winger with the left foot, and I think that Antony is at the top of that list. So yeah, watch this space. I think that once Frenkie De Jong gets and Christian Eriksen are confirmed, then Antony will become the next priority for Manchester United. So anyway, if you want to keep updated on Manchester United transfer news, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell. And cheers.